Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to create a pivot table. A pivot table is a tool that allows for quick summarization of large amount of data. It automatically performs sort, count, total, or average of data stored in the spreadsheet and displays results as a report. Usually the reports will be stored in another sheet. However, it is also possible to specify it in other locations, such as in a different spreadsheet file. Now I'm going to show you how to create a pivot table. Suppose we have a spreadsheet that lists all sales records for a company, and now I want to calculate the amount of sales for each individual city and also group the result by region. I can actually create a spreadsheet like a pivot table like this. To create a pivot table like this, I will firstly go to the orders sheet. This is where the source data stored. Then I will select the entire data. In this scenario, in this case, because we have over 9,000 records, and I will simply select all columns from column A to column T. This is step 1. And step 2 is to go to the Insert ribbon and click Pivot Table. After click Create Pivot Table, Excel will automatically populate the Create Pivot Table dialog. In the dialog, as we have already selected the table range, the table range will be populated automatically as well. Now, the next thing for us to do, the only thing we have to do is to choose where we want the pivot table reports to be placed. Do we want it to be placed under a new worksheet or an existing worksheet? As what I mentioned before, by default, it will go for a new worksheet. However, we can also select existing worksheet and then populate the location that we want the pivot table, or to say the report, to be stored under. Now we simply go for new worksheet and click OK. After click OK, Excel will automatically create a new sheet, and a new worksheet and a pivot table over there. And you will see that the screen will be a little bit different because it will have a pivot table fields on the right side of the screen. What is pivot table fields? The answer is very simple. It is simply columns. One fields in a pivot table is equal to one columns in the source table. And what about the filter column, rows, and value boxes down the pivot table field list? A pivot table is actually divided into 4 different areas. You can see this is the row, this is the column, this is the filter, and this is the values. Now let's see how to create a pivot table like this. First thing you have to do, definitely go back to the worksheet that we just create. Click the pivot table. In the pivot table field list, now we need to add the row field, which is city. Just click city and then drop it to rows. Then it will automatically populate a distinct list of cities into the rows field. Now let's fill up the column field list. The column field as what we want is actually the shipping mode, the ship mode. So we simply click ship mode from the pivot table fields window and then drop it to the columns area, which is now Excel will now automatically populate first ship mode, distinct list of ship modes. Now for the values, let's go to the pivot table field, click cells and drop to the values. Then Excel will automatically populate the number of cells for each city and ship mode. However, as what we want is the amount of cells, not the number of cells. So what we have to do is to go to the view field setting, click on the cells, count of cells, go to view field setting, and then change from count to sum, and click OK. Once it's done, it automatically populates the sum of cells for each cities and ship mode. However, as what we seen from this pivot table, what we want is actually in currency format, but now it is simply in the number format. So now what we need to do is go back to the value field setting again, and then go to number format and change the category to currency. And we don't have any decimal places, so no decimal places. OK, click OK again. Now the pivot table is almost there. However, as what we required is to group the result by region. There's two ways to do that. The first way is actually go back to pivot table field and then click region and then drop it to rows. Then you can see that the result is now automatically grouped by those cities now automatically grouped by regions. This is one way. However, as what we want is like this. This is actually the filter. What we have to do is actually filter by region. So we simply go to filter, put the regions, move it out from rows to filter. Then now region become a filter. We can filter by different regions that we want, or all regions. Now our pivot table have been created successfully. Thank you for viewing.